What's up, babes? Making a video today on the theory of the final saga of One Piece. Now, what is a saga and what is an arc? Of course, if you're watching this, you already know. I'm not really going to explain it. A saga is a group of arcs, and an arc is a singular thing. Sometimes they are named the same thing, but a saga is going to be longer. So we're not going straight for the One Piece right now, and we're not going straight to fight the government right now. But I'm going to walk through on July 20 something or another. We're going to get 1054, and that's going to be the start of the final saga. In Oda's words, that's what he said. Now, people are saying Wano is over, and I disagree. I think even though Wano is over, the arc is over, the final saga includes Wano a lot. I don't think we're leaving anytime soon. It's easy for me to say that because Green Bull is like literally right there, about to interact with everybody. They were talking about sailing. Usopp and Frankie were going to work last time we saw them at the shipyard before the party. So I don't think we're literally leaving right now. There's too much to do. There's too much to do there. Kaido's poneglyph, what's happening with Green Bull, what's happening with Big Mom and Kaido, what's happening with Odin's dad, what is Momonosuke going to do with the borders, what's going to happen with all that, the government. There's just so many questions that we still need answered there. I think that's where it's going to start, and I think a lot of these questions that are going to be answered are going to be like endgame answers, and that's why it's part of the final saga, and it's not part of Wano. It's in Wano, and Wano is very intrusive on the ending of One Piece. That's why it's the final saga. The start of it, at least. So where do we go from here? Well, first off, I think we have to talk about where the world is at right now. I think in the last week, more pandemonium has happened than you think. Of course, all we really saw were all the warlords being challenged, which is a very big deal, but I think we're kind of downplaying it more than we should. Them attacking all the warlords means that they're probably taking care of everyone out. They're cleansing out everything else in the world at this moment. But in the new world, and like a lot of the now emperors are kind of tough to mess with. But what's very interesting about Buggy being a Yonko is now we have to think that some crazy shit went down because of how much it took Luffy to become a Yonko, how much it took Blackbeard to become a Yonko. Because we don't necessarily know Big Mom, Kaido, and Whitebeard 100% what it took to get there, but they were all part of the Rocks crew, and they all have their kind of own thing that makes them special, but they were kind of a previous generation. So with these new generation people, we have to look at them and say, okay, if you literally just became a Yonko, even with these other ones taken out, there's a reason you took Big Mom's spot, and there's a reason Luffy took Kaido's spot. And we just kind of have to see, well, what kind of world-changing element do you bring to the table? And with Buggy, I heard a theory that like Mihawk might have joined him just because he's bored. I don't think by any fucking means that he needs it. Absolutely not. And if you think that, you are what I like to call a pickle. But no, he doesn't need the help, but he could be so like just lazy, because he's pretty lazy, that he's just like, can you just take me and like we'll just do this shit? And then Buggy's like, yeah. And it worked out for him, and it worked out for him in a great situation. I don't think all of them won. I think they came at them with some people had some admirals. I think Kobe proved himself and was able to take out Hancock, and I don't think that's too far of a reach. But anyway, the final saga. So now we have all that stated. We're on the way to Laugh Tale. We're on the way. So how are we going to get there? And how is this going to happen in a matter of what? Is it now 4 years according to Oda? Bullshit. But I'm hoping it takes at least 6. What we saw at the end of Wano was a little bit of rushing. And so I'm thinking that hopefully, please, Oda, take your time, please. But I think we're on the way to Elbaf. And the reason I say that is because we need one more poneglyph. Elbaf has been talked about so much. I think Usopp very much needs a moment. Because it seems like the original 5 who crossed the Grand Line all had a specific moment in Wano that was very powerful to either their character or their strength. And Usopp didn't get that. He got the back burner. Even more than that, Chopper got it. Robin got it, Jinbei got it, like all these people were getting their moments. Frankie got it, and Usopp didn't really do a damn thing. Not a damn thing. So I think we need to address that first. I think that's where it's going to be. And then we bring in another Yonko into the conversation with Blackbeard. Now, I think Blackbeard is very strange because it's always like, okay, who's going to be the final bad guy? Sakazuki? Blackbeard? Emu? We don't know. We're not 100%. If I had to guess, I'm saying Emu, and it'd be easy, kind of un-Oda-esque to just make that rocks, but at this point, introducing somebody brand new that I'm supposed to care about would be difficult. But in Oda we trust. In Oda we trust. Don't get me wrong. But who is it going to be? And I thought about it, and this is something I literally just came up with, and I'm curious. What would make Elbaf kind of a quicker arc is if that's where Blackbeard went. As if he decided to go there because, one, it would be close to the One Piece, and two, as far as we know, Blackbeard doesn't know where the One Piece is. He is a master strategist. Don't get it wrong. He's not partying for nothing. He's not enjoying himself. He was waiting on Luffy to do this. He was waiting on the world to kind of go topsy-turvy. He was waiting on it. Now, how is he going to read these poneglyphs? I'm not 100% sure. I don't know what he's going to do. I don't know if he has the ability. I don't know. I don't know if he has somebody in the crew. Probably not. I mean, it's such a rare ability to have. So he's either coming to Wano to figure that out, to get Robin to do something there, or he's in Elbaf and there's something there that allows him to do that. But what would make that interesting is that getting to Elbaf might be a problem, but Blackbeard might already have it in Desolation by the time they get there. He might already be on the way to Laugh-Tale for whatever reason. And then this is shocking news to them, and then they're like, my goodness, like, we gotta go. And I could see that kind of hurrying the pace. I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna like that. I think there's not necessarily a lot we have to do in Elbaf on the way to Laugh-Tale, but taking out the only remaining like bad Yonko, because we look at Shanks and it's kind of, I don't see him as like a bad Yonko. Like, you know, he has more mystery shrouded in him than anybody else. And I think with Film Red coming out, I believe he's going to be not introduced, but it feels like it. He's gonna make an appearance very, very soon. I could see that happening in Elbaf. I could also see that happening in Wano. Like, I'm not sure on where that's coming, but I think both Blackbeard and Shanks make an appearance before the end of One Piece, before the final war arc, which will be the last one. So we have Elbaf first. We're beelining to Elbaf because that's where Odin's father tells us that's where the last poneglyph is. They go there to try to find it. Shanks and Blackbeard have their little scuffle. I don't think they're going to fight. They could possibly fight. I don't think Luffy's really going to fight Shanks either. I think he's now earned Shanks' respect, and now he would be able to return that hat. But at this point, you can't do that. I mean, it's the Straw Hat Pirates. You can't do it. But I think it's time that they meet. And I think it's time that Shanks teaches him about the world. We are informed about everything that Shanks knows, because at this, you have to assume that Shanks is the all-knowing. I mean, he's just casually chatting it up with Gorosei. Like, how do you even get to that position? How do you even get to a place where that's happening as a Yonko, as a pirate, as somebody who was Gold D. Rogers' cabin boy? How does that happen? You know? And there's so many questions that we still need answered that I think can happen quick if we get these all-knowing people being like, hey, this is the situation. Now, Luffy obviously doesn't want to know about the One Piece, and we saw that with Rayleigh, but tell me some other shit. Let me know more about Rocks. Let me know more about Gold D. Let me see what's happening here. But it is strange because I don't believe that Shanks' ideal is the One Piece. So that means there's only 2 Yonko that are after the One Piece. I guess technically 3, because I'm pretty sure Buggy is too, but I don't think he's really going to be a problem in that sense. I think he's going to play a big part in the final war, because we have to think that it's the pirates and the revolutionaries, which I believe, against the government and kind of everything that goes with that, which I think that's why the government's trying to get a leg up already. And they already kind of did with all the technology that Vegapunk, who we still need to hear from, which it could be the very end that we hear from or about Vegapunk. I could see it being the very end, because I think right now, originally I wasn't sure, but I think they're on the way to the One Piece now. They're going to have interactions with both Shanks and Blackbeard at Elbaf. Elbaf's not going to be as long of a trip or an arc that we think it is, because I think the other 2 are going to be humongous. And considering how many stories need to be wrapped up, World's Greatest Swordsman, Kuma, Vegapunk, Joy Boy, more the Sovereigns like Vivi and all of them, the ancient weapons. There's so many questions that need Rocks. I could go on. We know that there's a lot of questions. Please don't Game of Thrones me. Please do not give me something that's rushed, Oda. Please. I trust you. But Wano at the end felt a little rushed. just a little bit. But there's so many questions that we need answered. I think the One Piece might be able to answer a lot of these questions, or kind of what we need to do there. But we all have our theories on what the One Piece is. So on the way to Laugh-Tale from Elbaf, I think there's going to be a very large scuffle between Blackbeard and Luffy. Now we're going to get to know more about the world, why this is happening, because turmoil is happening while they are chasing after the One Piece. And at that point, the side of like the cleansed is going to have to fight back against the Great Cleanser, Imu, the Gorosei, the Celestial Dragons, and the world government. And they're going to have to battle them back. It could be even smaller than that. Sakazuki could turn against those people, but it could be too late. Everybody's a pawn in Imu-sama's game. So once the One Piece is found, reached, discovered, whatever that is, because we don't even know that much. Treasure of what kind, we're not sure. Destroying the Red Line and making everything one piece makes sense to me, but I'm not sure. But the grand scuffle between him and Blackbeard will happen then. I think Shanks will either die during that time, or he will become kind of the right-hand man of the Dawn. Because then the final thing after Elbaf, after they get that last road poneglyph, on the way to Laugh-Tale, they discover that the One Piece is, hey, it's back by Mary Joie, where you started all this. Where the Laboon question will be answered, where the meetup will happen between Brook and Laboon, because that needs to still happen. Once they're back there, that's when the gigantic war takes place. That's where everything's happening. Of course, there's probably going to be even more war going up to there. This is going to make the Shinobi War look like Wano, basically. Wano was nothing. Marineford, I think Otis said, will look cute in comparison to what this final war is going to look like. And absolutely, it should and it will. Just because there is so much to cover. There are so many parts at play. And yeah. So from the One Piece, from discovering what it is, Luffy will be determined because he needs to be driven. And at this very moment, he can't go back to the government because he isn't really driven by anything. I saw this thing that if Hancock got captured, then he'd be driven to go back. And I would think possibly, but I think Shanks is going to kind of open his worldview a bit. And Luffy's going to do what Luffy does best, put his own twist on it and say, no, this is the correct thing. This is what I want to do. But we don't know. We don't know if Shanks is a bad guy. We don't know what Shanks is. We have no idea. So I'm as much a passenger on Oda's train as you guys are. But Elbaf to Laugh-Tale to the Discovery to a fantastic fight there, which will kind of wrap that piece up before the large war. And during that war, even though Luffy and Blackbeard are fighting at the One Piece area, fighting for the One Piece, because that's what Blackbeard's after, and I think that's going to play a big part in the war in general. I think all three of those Yonko, all four, I guess, even, because we throw Buggy in there now, because fuck it, Buggy's a Yonko. They're all going to play a part in the war. I don't think any of them are going to be destroyed or dismantled before that time. They're all going to play a part in the war. And when that happens, all their fleets and everything, will it be enough? Because you have to understand that as it always is, and as it was in Wano, Luffy will be on the losing side. But as Joy Boy does best, Luffy will prevail. Luffy will open the borders, making it One Piece, destroying the racism, brutality, and cruelty of the world, dismantling the Celestial Dragons, destroying and avenging the Lunarians as a final thing for One Piece. When Sanji sees the All Blue, when Zoro fights Mihawk, when Nami makes a map of the world when she's much older, which means she's probably going to live through all this. I can't guarantee that for everybody, because Usopp will become a brave warrior. But when everyone completes their goals, then that's it. Then that's it. Now, when that happens, I don't know. Who's going to die? I don't know. Is Luffy going to die at the end? Yes. But we don't know. And I hope a lot of these questions get answered, guys. And the big thing about this video is I just want my questions answered. The questions, because we have more questions than we do answers, and we have less time to answer these questions than these questions were asked. Because these questions have been asked. I've been in this game for almost 2 decades now. And I think we have about 6 years left. But even that doesn't feel like enough time. So enjoy it while we have it, people. Enjoy the final saga. That man will become the Pirate King. At what point during that does that happen? I'm not sure. But I just want to see Luffy put on his hat one time and say, I am the Pirate King. And they're going to be like, fuck yeah, you are, man. I love One Piece, man. Hope you guys do too. Welcome to the final saga. I'll see you June 20 whatever. Peace.